So this summer I am working on building gardens, and these are two of the later ones actually. The first ones I built were this one that doesn't have much in it right now because I'm replanting herbs into it. It was a little too narrow. You can see in the back in the concrete pretty one, that's marshmallow. Got a little basil, some lemon balm, oregano, thyme, celery, and cabbage, and that is citronella. Over here we're growing some melons. We've got three different kinds of melons: honeydews, watermelon, and Korean melon. There's a couple of things of green onion, more basil, and some lavender in this one as well, with the Buddha head sticking up here. This was really the third one that we planted. This over here is the Three Sisters planting, which actually we've got some extra stuff in there, but the Three Sisters is a form of indigenous planting that Kristen learned about that we're trying, where you grow corn and beans and squash. And the deal's supposed to be that the corn grows tall, the beans then wrap around the corn, which helps give them something to hold on to and strengthens them. And then the squash helps fix nitrogen in the soil with the beans and feeds everything from the bottom and helps repel pests. We also have some carrots in there over on the left. So we've got white beans, red beans, and green beans that take up the majority. Cucumbers and squash, or zucchini squash in there. Unfortunately, it looks like the straight necks died. And then over on the right, we've also added some eggplant, which is apparently beneficial with the beans. And then on the far right are edamame. So we planted all of these, and they seem to be quite successful. This is only a little bit more than a week old with all these that have sprouted. The cucumbers came from plants, whereas almost everything else came from seeds or from food waste. There's also some radishes hunting around in there, and some beets that also help with the soil that are hiding underneath. So we're trying to do some cross planting that is complementary. Then over here we have a little rosemary, some more garlic and chives, some lemongrass. That's our compost. Then back over here is the newest one that I actually just built in the last 2 days. I built the outside yesterday and replanted some of these from that other kind of flat container. So the green okra has done quite well. It's actually grown quite a bit just since this morning, since I replanted it. To the right of that, you've got a row with 4 Korean pepper plants of varying sizes. That's these here. That's some beautiful okra. Behind that, you've got Santa Fe Grandes. That one's actually got a pepper on it. You can kind of see it in the background. To the right's the Cubanelles. And then we've got orange, red, and green peppers on the right. These are all supposed to be complementary to each other. In the far back, there's some more Korean melons. Those are going crazy. They seem to really like it here. And then on the side, I planted pinto beans, and those all came from seed this morning. It's all non-GMO seeds. So we'll see how that does. The other beans that I planted just a week ago are all 6 to 10 inches high already. So we'll see how that goes. Now over here is kind of the original space. Kristen actually has all of that aloe back there. That came from just a few that came out of somebody's garden a couple of years ago, and she's propagated all of that since then. We have a few more that she's replanted over here. And we have the spider plant. That actually was given to me when my daughter was born in 2006. That is still from the original spider plant that we're growing more of. There's the rest of the citronella. That other piece that you saw was propagated from that. We have a whole bunch of garlic growing down here. Parsley, that's flat-leaf Italian parsley. Vine potato plants. More garlic and green, actually I think that's green onion, and then spicy globe basil. And then up here we have the big boy, or it's the bush Goliath tomatoes. That's grown tall, but it hasn't grown any tomatoes yet. Then we have our German thyme that's doing quite well. A couple of strawberry plants. The birds are eating all the strawberries, so we haven't had any of those yet. This is African blue basil right here. And then cilantro, which seems to be a little overwatered. Behind that is oregano, and then mint to the right. And then we have the heirloom tomato, sage, more potato vine, carrots, and then the cherry tomatoes. You can see we already have tomatoes. And then over here, we've got guava, lemons, olives, figs, green tea, papaya, and a lime plant. So those are all the things that we're trying to grow right now, in addition to all the rest of the stuff that's in the yard.